everyone. This is super exciting. I'm going to wait for some people to start joining, but my name is Rachel Levinson. I'm the founder of SeizeYourPassion, Seize Your Passion. I am here for the first time on Facebook Live from the Seize Your Passion group, which I'm super excited about. I do live streams every Friday at 4 p.m. I've been doing them for several months now, but I've been using Periscope, and this is my first foray into the Facebook live stream world from Periscope. I'm switching over. I'm really excited about it. And I'll be here every Friday at 4 p.m. from the Seize Your Passion group on Facebook. And what I do every Friday at 4 p.m. with these live streams is I really just think out loud with you guys, and I share my thoughts with you, my lessons for the week, my growth for the week on my journey to seize my passion. And really talk about different topics related to me that I've been thinking about and processing over the week that are related to what Seize Your Passion means to me, that are related. Hi, Cheryl. Great to see you. Welcome to Facebook Live. Very exciting. Thanks for switching over from Periscope. I really just talk about different topics related to Seize Your Passion, what it means to me, and what it's all about. And hopefully maybe hearing from you guys and hearing your growth and thoughts and comments for the week. You can catch all our live streams, post-live broadcast anytime on seiopa.com/stream, our live streams page. I do them, like I said, every week at Friday, and Bobby Umar, thought and leadership speaker, does them every Thursday at 11:45 a.m., and he talks about different topics related to leadership and connection and how to use those skills to seize your passion. And again, you could catch all those live streams anytime on seiopa.com/stream. Okay, so this week, what I want to talk about is getting outside of your head. You know, a big part of what Seize Your Passion is about, and a big part of what life is about, actually, I think, is self-awareness and being self-reflective, and a big part of personal development and personal growth, which is also a big part of Seize Your Passion, and for me, life. Also, a big part of that is self-awareness and being self-reflective. And that means getting inside of your own head and thinking about how you process things, how you think about things, which is great. You know, I've always been a huge proponent of being self-reflective and of having self-awareness, and I think it's a tremendous quality and tool and skill in our lives in general, again, but also in order to seize our passion and become the best version of ourselves that we can be and achieve that personal growth and fulfillment that we're all looking for. But like anything else in life, if we get too stuck inside of our own heads, it's not a good thing. For several reasons. So the first reason, I recently read an article by John Westenberg, who he has some great pieces of writing on Medium. He was talking about how we're all too digitally connected today, and we're all too connected to our screens and our devices rather than being connected to actual human beings and in whatever moment we're in real life. And he analogized it to drinking wine, right? He said, I love wine, I love drinking wine, it makes me feel good, it tastes good, it's all good, right? But if he drank wine every day or too much of it every day, he would become an alcoholic, and then it wouldn't feel good, it wouldn't serve him well, and it would be self-destructive and self-defeating. That's true too for getting too far inside your own head and the danger of becoming too self-aware, too self-reflective, and getting stuck there inside of your own head, right? Because again, there's a number of reasons for why this is dangerous and why it can become destructive and not serve you well, and self-defeating ultimately, and not lead you towards growth and fulfillment, which is what you're looking for with that self-awareness. So one of the reasons is, you know, our brains are just naturally inclined to go towards negative thoughts, right? And I'm not making this up. This is actual, there's science and studies that talk about this and prove this. Our brains are naturally inclined to go towards negative thinking, worrying thinking, right? We tend to worry a lot when we go too far inside our head. Our brains naturally go towards things that we worry about. They naturally go towards thoughts of fearful thoughts, right? Whether we admit it to ourselves or not, like I think I'm not so great about admitting that I care what anyone else thinks of me. Like I'll always say, I don't really care what anyone else thinks of me. But the truth is, I think if I really dig deep and really get inside my own head a little bit, that of course I do, you know, and I say I'm judging myself, but really I'm scared of how others are going to judge me. And our brains are just naturally inclined to go there again. So if you get too stuck inside your own head, you start to perpetuate these negative thoughts, and your brain naturally goes towards these thoughts of worrying about what will happen or won't happen. Most often we worry about things that won't happen. You know, feelings of insecurity or lack of confidence, or worrying about how others are going to think of us or judge us, or how we're going to judge ourselves. And you're inside your own head, so it becomes this perpetual circle, a closed circle, and a vicious cycle of these negative thoughts. Now, it's that much more important to get out of your head if you're anyway in a negative space or place in your life, right, or on your journey. Whether it's, you know, achieving a particular goal or seizing a particular passion, or just in general, you're in a negative place in your life, right? If you're feeling a little less confident than normal, or insecure about something, or discouraged about something, and you're in a negative place, if you go into your own head when you're already in that place, then you'll go into that closed circle, and it'll become a vicious cycle of perpetuating those negative thoughts. And it will not be productive, it will not serve you well, and you will not achieve any growth or fulfillment, which is what you're looking for by going into your own head. Another reason that you know, getting too far stuck inside of our own heads and in our own bubbles is a bad thing, and sometimes we need to get out of our head, is because, you know, again, just naturally, the way we're built as human beings, it's really hard for us, and I was talking about this with a colleague of mine recently, it's really hard for us to take our own advice, right? There are so many coaches and mentors and motivational speakers out there, and therapists, right, that are so great at giving others advice and teaching others and mentoring others and coaching others and being insightful when it comes to others. But they don't actually practice what they preach to others on themselves. Why? Because it's much harder to take your own advice and to be insightful and objective when you're inside your own head, right? When you're inside that closed circle and that vicious cycle. You know, and it's, again, it's just naturally the way our brains are built. So if you can get outside of your head and get perspective the way you do when you give others advice, or when you listen to others, or when you coach or mentor or inspire others, that'll give you that same objective perspective to be able to take that advice and actually apply it to yourself as well. So that's the other reason why, you know, it's so important to sometimes get out of your head. Another reason is just plain and simple analysis paralysis. And I love that term. You know, if we get too caught up inside our heads and our cerebral thinking, a lot of times it just causes analysis paralysis, where we're not actually doing anything because we're so busy thinking about what we want to do or how to do it or why we should do it. No, stop thinking and get outside your head and just go do it. So to stop the analysis paralysis, to stop the vicious closed circle of negative thoughts, to gain perspective and objectivity, it's very important, and that's the lesson I learned this week, to sometimes get out of your own head. And the way to do that, you know, two simple ways that I was aware of this week and thinking about inside my own head is, one, to just stop thinking and go do something that you enjoy, right? And that's a big part of what Seize Your Passion is about too, right? So go for a run, go take a hike, go take a yoga class, go do something and stop thinking about whatever it is you're trying to solve or whatever it is that's consuming your thoughts, and shut it off and be in the moment and do something. Be active with your body and not with your head. That's one way to get outside of your own head, to stop that vicious closed circle cycle, right? Another really, really, really great way, and this, I discovered this just naturally. I met my girlfriend, my best friend, for drinks the other night, and she's on a similar journey as I am, which is nice because we can bounce thoughts and struggles with each other, off of each other, which is another big part of what Seize Your Passion is about, right? Learning and growing from each other and sharing our voices and our experiences and our struggles. And, by me just sitting there and listening to her and listening to what she's going through and her wins and her losses and her struggles and her challenges, it forced me to get outside of my own head and actually become a better listener. And by doing that, it actually sparked some new ideas for my own journey and my own growth and my own problems that I was thinking about and trying to solve by getting outside of my own head. Because again, when we're inside that vicious closed circle cycle, it's a closed circle. When we go out there and we actually talk to others, friends, colleagues, whoever, and we actually listen to them and forget our stuff, right? Take your shit and just throw it out the window for a minute and actually engage them and what they're going through and listen to them, it'll actually open up that circle and open up your head and your brain to new ideas that you wouldn't have otherwise thought of. They say in business that the best way to solve a problem is to go outside of your industry for the solution, that you can't solve a problem with the same way of thinking that caused the problem, right? So by me listening to her and going inside her head and getting outside of mine, it actually helped me think of new ideas and become more productive and more creative and achieve more growth in a way that I never would have had I stayed inside my own head and not actually taken myself out of it and listened to her. So those are two ways to do that I find just really easy and simple and practical. And a lot of the greatest truths in life and the most insightful ways to grow and learn and become better are the most simple ones and the most basic ones that we just take for granted because they're right there in front of us and they're so simple and easy and true. So if we remember to just not, glide over them and actually take the simplicity for all its brilliance, it's really, really helpful. And again, just go out and do something you love, be in the moment, get outside your head, or just go talk to a friend and listen to them. And it'll actually open up that closed circle, get you out of your head, and open up the circle ultimately for when you are inside your head so that you have more growth with your thoughts and with your journey to seize your passion. I think the best way for me, at least, to describe this is really anyone who's a parent will understand what it is to get outside of your head, because when you become a parent, it forces you. You don't think about it and you don't really have a choice in the matter. You're automatically forced to get outside of your own head and stop being inside your own little bubble and actually think about this other person before yourself. You don't have time to be consumed by all your thoughts because you're busy taking care of this other person who comes before you in your little world and your thoughts. And any parent, I think you guys will agree with me and tell me if you don't, but any parent will tell you that their greatest teachers are often their children, and the most growth that they achieve in life is from becoming a parent. And I know that's true for me, and a big part of that is because it forces you to get outside of your own head, and it forces you to get outside of your own stuff for a little bit and focus on someone else and their stuff. And that ties into also, it's a cliche, but again, it's true. They say that when you help others or when you serve others or when you create value for others, it's actually self-benefiting and selfish in that way because it makes you feel good and it drives your creativity and your productivity and your growth ultimately and your fulfillment ultimately, which is, again, what Seize Your Passion is all about. So it's the same thing, by listening to others, by engaging in others, by getting outside of your own head, by opening up that closed, vicious circle of typically negative thoughts, because again, our brains are wired to go to the negative thoughts, you'll open up the horizons and achieve that growth and fulfillment that we're all looking for ultimately, and that is a huge, huge part of what Seize Your Passion is all about. And yeah, so that's really my lesson this week, what I learned this week on my journey to seize my passion, and I wanted to share it with you guys. I'm really excited to be here on Facebook Live. I switched over from Periscope. Again, I've been doing these live streams for months now, but today's the first time I switched over from Periscope to Facebook Live on the Seize Your Passion group, and I'm really excited about that. And I'll be here every Friday at 4 p.m. And again, you can catch all of our live streams, myself and Bobby Umar, anytime. Doesn't have to be live, on the site at seiopa.com/stream, our live streams page. We'd love to hear from you. Comments, there's a comment section on that page. Of course, you could comment here live. Love to hear from you. I see some familiar names, and I'm really happy to see everyone. And that's it. So go out there, get outside of your head, do something you love, listen to someone you love, and seize your passion. Have a great weekend, guys. Ciao. Bye.